some ways, almost the previous panel were well placed to respond to it in terms of the different sources of finance. So I think what we see, and a lot of the work we do with our small business partners, is really around the depth and quality of their own propositions. So, what we see around the world is the historic models of subsidised business and subsidised consumption, they are going away. Like, it's inevitable. So if you dial your thinking back to think about a government as nothing more than a business, it does have to have a balanced profit and loss outcome in terms of when you're thinking about money in and money out. And so the reality of copious amounts of money out to citizens and to businesses to subsidise, in some cases, potentially businesses that are not long-term viable, is not going to be sustainable for the country and for the government. So in that sense, I think a lot of this is going to require a balancing act. I think, and I get a sense too, and a lot of these sorts of panels, I know a lot gets put on the government, but one of the things I would say is, look, the government has to anchor the effort. They have to play a vital role, and they have to be energetic, enthusiastic, and genuine. But alone, they can't do it. So the subsidisation model will not in and of itself power the innovation paradigm in Kazakhstan. It's just not going to happen. And even for us in the payments business, when you look at historically, the three or four members of the ecosystem that we talk about, so for us that's consumers, merchants, our financial institutions, and obviously ourselves as Visa, those four parties all play a role. Without one of them doing their job, the ecosystem struggles. So it's not an answer that I'm able to kind of specifically prescribe, this is the best source of funding for those small businesses, but I would strongly encourage the government to find ways to help them towards sustainable business model, because actually in some ways, granting money alone is not enough. And so I think it brings us right back to the whole philosophy of why we're here at the Innovation Summit. I think increasingly, and this is very important for us as Visa, thinking about the future as becoming digital by design is very, very important, because what we see, at least in our business, is that the benefit of digital entry to a market, digital access, the conversion from cash to electronic payment actually truly lowers not only the cost of entry to participating in the finance ecosystem, but also the cost of ongoing participation.